Pluto in Aquarius signifies a massive ego death for the entire collective. Wherever you have Leo in your chart, there is some aspect of your personality that is a bit self-aggrandized in that particular area of your life, and there will be a massive change to how you navigate the world, how you process information, how you present yourself. Depending on what house Leo lands in your chart, there's going to be something that's going to be changing in that area. And if you have planets in that chart, especially the sun and the moon, and especially if you were born on a Leo new moon, there will be some major shifts in that area. If you are born under a Leo new moon, there may be some challenges in actually witnessing your shadow. The same as with all new moon births, but I think the Leo new moon birth is a little bit more intense. The Leo Aquarius axis has a lot to do with social validation and social detachment. A person born under a Leo new moon may find it very easy to get kind of self-absorbed and not integrating certain elements of Aquarius. Maybe you have an empty house in Aquarius that is opposite your sun and your moon. It's almost as if the moon blocks out the sun's ability to shine a light on that other end of the axis. And we know that wherever there is a major shadow, there's going to be a lot of projecting, okay? Now, Pluto in Aquarius may be quite an uncomfortable experience for a person who has Leo moon and sun, and especially if you're born on the new moon with your moon and your sun pretty much conjunct. At some point during this particular transit, there's going to be a major shift in the ego, and being that the sun and the moon are so visceral to the way how we navigate the world, to our identity, this may actually be an identity crisis. The identity crisis may occur regardless of whether it's the sun or the moon, but I'm just thinking of the people who have that particular placement. It's probably going to be a rough pass. My advice would be to try to incorporate, although it's probably going to be difficult, new moon born people tend to be pretty much self-contained and not able to be as self-aware as other people. But if you have Aquarius placements, it's going to be very helpful for you to try to cast a light into that area of your chart, cast a light into that area of your psyche, and try to incorporate more Aquarian ideals into the persona. As the opposition to your sun and moon intensifies, there's probably going to be some amount of a shakeup that's happening in a particular area of your life. So for example, if you were an Aries rising, you would have your Leo in the 5th house, your Aquarius in the 11th house. It would quite likely be a massive shift in your social network. This could be an overhaul to the social network. This could be some amount of scrutiny among your friends, your support network, your supportive people. Likely some realization that the ego was a little bit too obsessed with personal self-expression or a particular way of being that was, the way I look at it, is like aura farming in this particular case. A very self-absorbing energy. Leo is the sun, Leo is that sun energy. It's supposed to be shining, but when we get in a particular state of being where we are doing what we're doing, we're creating for the purpose of people's recognition, people's praise, it's the opposite of shining your light. It's the opposite. You're actually sucking instead of shining. It's like you're a black hole sun. Instead of you being a shining sun, it becomes a black hole. So you're gonna have to make some adjustments to the self-expression and all of the characteristics of the 5th house, and project your energy towards the 11th house, right? This would look like creating things that serve your social network. This particular placement would probably go through some amount of isolation, some amount of upheaval that would have them wonder, like, nobody likes me, nobody likes the things that I create, nobody appreciates what I do, nobody appreciates my expression, and if you're truly self-absorbed and self-validating, then there could be some amount of separation that's going on here. But if you're not, there's going to be the need for balance. Oppositions are really not here to cause you to become the other energy. Nobody's asking you to become an Aquarian, but it's just about balancing out the two energies. So 5th house, 11th house, that'll be the balance between your creative affairs, right, your creativity, and your social network, right? So putting some sort of a balance there where the ego is concerned. The next fire rising will also experience this in a more social way as well. If you're a Sagittarius rising, you're going to be experiencing that ego death in the 9th house. I consider this axis more of like a teacher student, more of like a guru versus the masses type of dynamic, where Leo in the 9th house would kind of place the belief system. I just think of this energy as more dogmatic, where your belief systems may be called into questions, your teachings may be called into question, the way how you go about communicating your beliefs, your authority in this sphere may be called into question. You know, maybe nobody's interested anymore in listening, in being concerned with what it is that you teach, what it is that you preach. While on the other end of the axis, there'll be a shakeup in the student population, you know, your local community. There's a lot more need to find a way to blend your ideas with the collective. Find a way to communicate more on the level of individuals in your collective. So that's the local community, the student population. It's like peer-to-peer type of communication, asking more questions instead of always preaching, teaching, you know. This one may be difficult. This one may be quite difficult because there's a little bit of piety when you blend Leo with Sagittarius. Yeah, there's a bit of piety there. So this one may be a big one. If you're a Leo rising, this is gonna be changes in the actual interpersonal relationships. You know, you may actually find some upheaval in partnerships. So this could be a marriage, business partnerships, any other significant, more intimate relationship. You know, this may show up as separations, you know. This one is going to be rough as well, since it's like triple Leo. Yeah, so there may be a lot of upheavals in this particular placement. I think the key is really to remove some of the focus on the self and see how we could shine our light to serve other people, to serve the collective.